Hello friends, this will be tutorial number 4 of this C++ design patterns course. In this tutorial we will talk about segregation with abstract classes. We will have some shapes and we want to calculate perimeter and area of the shape. It doesn't matter if it is square, rectangle, circle or something else. Let's create, like in previous tutorials, let's create a class. Application will be the name without destructor. We don't need a class application. And first let's include IOStream and standard namespace into our CPP file, and also standard namespace in our header file. And let's create another namespace, my namespace, and let's create some classes inside. First we will create a class, perimeter class. It will be abstract class with one double function, virtual double perimeter. And because it's abstract class, we will define it with 0, and also we will create virtual destructor. That's okay. And let's create another class. The name of the class will be area class. And it will also be abstract. It has a virtual double function area equals to 0, and also it will have virtual destructor. And we will create one more abstract class. The name of the class will be display data. It should display, it will be a function display void, which should display all of the data of the shape. Let's define, and it will be public. We forgot in the perimeter and area class. It will be virtual void display equals to 0. And also we will create a virtual destructor. And here we need to write public, and also here we will write public. Okay, we have 3 abstract classes, and now let's create some derived class. We need some shape. It will be rectangle. And it will extend all of these 3 classes: perimeter class, area class, and display data. Perimeter class, area class, and display data. We will use a multiple inheritance here. we will need some private members. It will be a double. We can type A and B, or it can be width and length. Now let's type width and length. Okay, 2 private members. Now we need public. First we will create a parameterized constructor, rectangle with double width and double length as a parameter, and it will have all of these 3 functions of the base classes. Let's create double perimeter, double area, and void display. And here we forgot open and closed brackets. Of course, this will be the functions from the base classes, and here will be overridden. We will write override. That should be fine. Now I will just copy this class rectangle, and I forgot semicolon here. I will copy this rectangle. I will create one more class. It will be a square, but I will just modify this class. Okay, instead of rectangle we will have, it will be a square. It will not have width and length. It will be a side, one private member, and also we will have parameterized constructor. We will have a side as a parameter, and we have perimeter, area, and display function. It will be the same like we have in the rectangle. Class square is also derived class from perimeter class, area class, and display data. Okay, now let's build and run this to see if everything works properly, and it will not work properly because here in the square we forgot to write square. That's disadvantage of the copy and paste. Now it works fine. Now we need to go to our CPP file to define all of these, to define constructors and the functions. First, let's, I have deleted standard namespace. It was not my intention, and let's call my namespace and let's start define. Okay, in these 3 classes we have 3 pure virtual functions. They are already defined. And first we need to define a parameterized constructor of the rectangle. Rectangle, it has double width and double length as a parameters, and let's write this width will be equal to width, and also this length, here it is, equals to length. This should be fine. And we need to define double rectangle. We need to define perimeter function. Here is perimeter, and we will return. We need to return perimeter of the rectangle. We need to use a formula. It will be 2 multiplied with width plus 2 multiplied with length. It's a formula for the perimeter of the rectangle. Now let's define area of the rectangle. Area, and we will return width multiplied with length. And we also need to define display function, rectangle display, and we need to print something. We want to print all of the data of the rectangle. First we will write displaying a rectangle. We need to know which shape we are displaying, and line. We also want to know width of the rectangle, and also length. We will display perimeter, and we will call perimeter function. And we will also display the area. Area equals, we will call area function, and we will use /n and this should be fine. Now to save some time, I will copy this all and I will paste it first, and I will change it to square. Here will be square. It has double side as a parameter, and I will just type this side will be equals to side, but I didn't change here. It will be square, and it doesn't have length. Okay, this is fine. Here will be square, and we need to return perimeter of the square. Formula to calculate perimeter of the square is 4 multiplied with a. Okay, and here we need to change to square, and we need to return area. Here I type a, and we have a side. It's not a. Our member is side. Yes, it's side. It's not a. 4 multiplied with side, and also the area we will return side multiplied with side. And now let's change display function. First we will, instead of rectangle, we need to use a square. Displaying, the message will be displaying a square. We don't have width, we have a side equals to side, and we don't have length, we will just delete it. Okay, perimeter and area should be fine. Now let's build and run to see if we define it properly, and we didn't define it properly. Where is the problem? The problem is here in the just let me see where is the problem. It's a void. Yes, it's a void, it's not a double. And also here my mistake. Let's build and run to see if it will work. Yes, it will work fine. Now let's go, let's move to the main file, Maincpp. We need to include application header file, and also we need to include my namespace. Let's delete this hello world, we don't need it. And let's create a rectangle. We will call it R1 equals to new rectangle. And we don't have, I didn't create get and set function to save some time. If you want, for example, you can have default constructor and create set and get function. The choice is yours. Or you can create both parameterized constructor and get and set function. But I have created only parameterized constructor. And let's write, it will be 7, width will be 7, and 10 will be length. And we will just call display function from this rectangle, and we will see what we will get. We should have display all of the data of the rectangle. And we can also create a square. We will call S1 equals to new square. the side will be 4, for example. And we can delete, but first we will display only a rectangle, and here I will delete R1 and I will delete S1. Okay, we have a rectangle. We didn't call a display function from the square. I just wanted to display a rectangle first. As you can see, displaying a rectangle, width is 7, length is 10, perimeter is 34. Okay, 2 multiplied with 7 is 14, and 2 multiplied with 10 is 20, and 14 is 34, which is great. And area equals to 70. It works perfectly fine. I can change now to width will be 9, and if I build and run again, okay, it works perfectly fine. Perimeter is 38 and area is 90. It's perfect. We should have, I think that we will have, okay, we don't have any warning because we deleted S1, but we will just now call also the function for the S1. We want to see if it will work properly for the square too. Let's build and run. Okay, here are the display data for rectangle, which is okay, and we also have here now displaying a square. Side equals to 4, perimeter equals to 16. Okay, 4 multiplied with 4 is 16, and the area and the perimeter are the same. Okay, and now I will just change, but I need to change here. I don't have a set function. I will change to 5, and let me build and run again. Okay, displaying a square, as you can see, side equals to 5, and perimeter 4 multiplied with 5 is 20, and area 5 multiplied with 5 is 25. It works perfectly fine. I really hope that you understand it, and I really hope that you like this tutorial. If you like this tutorial, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Instagram. You have a link in the description, and I will see you in the next tutorial.